showcasing local talent, professionals, and everyday people making Salt Lake City what it is today. It's time for another episode of the I Am Salt Lake podcast.
I want to welcome you to episode 201 of the I Am Salt Lake podcast. I'm your host. My name is Chris Hollifield. Thank you so much for giving the show a listen, checking it out, however you got here. Thank you so much. I got a great show for you today. This episode, I took my recorder over to Zest here in downtown Salt Lake City, where I had an opportunity to sit down and chat with Casey Staker, the owner. When I was setting up the interview with Casey, we were going back and forth trying to figure out a good time to meet up. He suggested that we bring in Kat Palmer to actually help co-host the episode. You know, it wouldn't have been right if we wouldn't have brought Kat into this episode, as she was the one who introduced me to Zest back in June and also helped me make that transition over to eating a gluten-free lifestyle. So it was really cool to have her there and have her part of the conversation. I'm going to be getting into that here in just a minute. I, of course, want to give some love to our sponsors, though. Oleo Skin and Beard. Go check them out online at oleoskin.com. All kinds of great skin oils, beard balms. I use them. I use all their beard oils, so I highly recommend that. Highly recommend them. Again, their website is oleoskin.com. Also want to give some love to Club 50 West, located right at 50 West Broadway. You can find them online at 50westslc.com. Tons of live shows coming up there, tons of comedy, tons of live music. And speaking of Club 50 West, I got my next live show. It's going to be happening Friday, January 22nd. If you're following me on the social medias, you've been seeing the posters, you've been seeing the posts, all about it. I know I made the announcement in the last episode. It's going to be a fun evening. I have Jay Whitaker, Kat Palmer, Richie T. Stedman. Show starts at 8 o'clock. Tickets are only $5 at the door. The show is sponsored by our friends at Slug Magazine, slugmag.com. It's going to be a really fun evening, so come on out, get a babysitter, bring a friend, and come with some questions. If you have any questions for myself, Jay Whitaker, Kat Palmer, or Richie T. Stedman, we're going to be answering them live. So, yeah, come on out. It's going to be a really good time that evening. So, with all that being said, sit back, enjoy the conversation that I had with Casey Staker at Zest in downtown Salt Lake City, Utah. 6 months ago, I think, is actually about the first time I ever came here. And I live pretty much right across the street from here, so...
You do. My marketing's not working that well.
No, well, I knew about you. I just never came here. And if it wasn't for a certain individual...
Our co-host.
That is co-hosting this episode of the podcast...
Hey.
Kat Palmer.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks
Chris lives
across. Super fan.
Yeah, I am a super fan, and Chris does live across the street. And had I not dragged his ass here in June, yeah, he fell in love with it then.
Let's talk a little bit. I want to get a little bit of a story, Casey. I want to talk about all your menu items. I mean, you got some great cocktails, some great food. I want to get a little bit of your history, though, just to kind of tie this in, okay? Just so people listening know a little bit. Because I don't know how much you hate talking about the W Lounge. We have to talk about for just a second, Casey. I was a fan of the W Lounge back in the day. I didn't know you back then, but it was a big thing in Salt Lake City at one time, I feel like.
Yeah,
and so
you can't hate talking about the W Lounge.
Okay,
it's all good memories.
Okay, and so where did you grow up? Let's start there for just a second.
I'm from Huntington, Utah, which is down by Price. If y'all know where that's.
I do.
Located. No.
I didn't grow up here, but I grew up by Huntington Beach, California, which is not the same thing.
So, I mean, for people listening, it's a very small town compared to Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
What were you like as a kid, though? What kind of stuff were you into?
Oh, geez.
I mean,
we grew up on a farm, so we rode 4-wheelers, 3-wheelers, horses. We played in the willows, just a lot of outdoor stuff you do when you're a kid and you have not a lot of things to do. You find things to do. You play in the dirt.
I want to kind of jump quickly into well, first of all, did you come from a big family, a lot of siblings or
3 siblings.
Three siblings.
I'm the oldest.
So not the typical Utah family, not the typical large Utah.
That's a lot of kids, I feel.
Yeah, Chris, you don't have kids. More than 2 is a lot.
You're probably right about that.
He has 1 kid now.
Oh yeah, Charles.
I have Charles. Charles. I'm a cat dad. Thank you.
What if we rename him Scott Baio? That's a cool name for a cat.
I like Scott Baio. I think he should have named his cat Palmer, but whatever.
And feel free, Cat, to jump in whenever here.
Thank you for permission, because I hadn't been doing that already.
No. Okay, this is going to be a fun podcast. Because you've been in the food industry for quite a while,
Right.
When did you become interested in working with food? I mean, were you always
I've been
were
in
you always
food and
cooking
beverage.
and baking at a young age, or
Hell no. No, that came for after years of being single, I guess, and learning to fend for yourself. And
You cooked for yourself while single?
yes.
Because I don't. I live like a bachelor while single.
Yeah, it seems like single guys especially are big fans of TV dinners, frozen pizzas.
Well, that was the way it started off, and then I started to get older, and I started to think, wow, everything you eat counts. Now
it goes right.
Doesn't you can't keep that flat stomach anymore after a certain age.
I still just have like little tiny brie cups and gluten-free crackers, and that was my breakfast this morning.
Brie cups?
They're like individually packaged brie cups Trader Joe's sells.
Oh, like cheese.
Yeah, the cheese. And so I had that with rice crackers this morning. Like I don't
Okay,
cook.
well, I don't cook amazing meals at home anymore because I work so damn much. I own a
Right.
restaurant, but so at the W Lounge, since we're talking about the W Lounge,
Sure.
I was like, I have a lot of free time during the day. So what do? You go to the gym, you go to lunch with your friends when they can take breaks from work. And a lot of times I would go somewhere and not have a lot of healthy options. So you find yourself eating fries for lunch, a sandwich and fries. And that's kind of where this all came into play. It's like, well, if I'm going to eat out like this all the time, I've got to have some healthy meals at home. So, a lot of salads, a lot of $7.99 salad, a pound salad bar at Whole Foods. And, you kind of start to get bored of that. So I just had a lot of free time. Towards the end of the W Lounge run, I was working about 20 hours a week, which who wouldn't love that? So I was making food at home a lot, and
what kind of stuff were you making? Like, just an example.
Like I said, I started to get healthier. I stopped eating all meat about 5 years ago, I believe it's been.
I was actually wondering that, so I'm glad you offered that up.
So
pretty new, really. I mean, 5 years ago really isn't that long ago.
Yeah, well, I had cut out one thing at a time, so I stopped eaing red meat years and years and years ago.
Was that tough though?
No.
Burgers, especially a guy, right? We like hamburgers and
no. Yeah, no. I was always trying to be a little more health conscious, although my appearance may have not reflected that at some point. I tried to be health conscious, but we had red meat. We could eat whatever we wanted growing up because we had farms all around us. Our grandparents had a farm. My father now inherited the farm and the land and everything. So,
sure.
So that was easily accessible, but you kind of get sick of that too. You get sick of having burgers and steaks and stuff like that for dinner 5 or 6 nights a week. So once I left to go to college, I started eating a little bit different, cut out red meat, because I couldn't get good red meat. And whether I didn't care about the organic thing back then. I didn't really know, but it was always like, you're never going to get a burger the same way you can get it at home. And so that's when I just started cutting out little things here and there. And then pork came next, then chicken, and fish was the last thing to go. Sushi was the hardest just because I like the experience. But thanks to Takashi, you can have some amazing vegetarian rolls and not miss the fish.
Or the naked fish.
Haven't eaten there in a long time.
Oh, really? That's my favorite place.
We should go sometime.
Yeah. So it's funny because you're on the show with a former vegan and a former very strict vegetarian. And so I went the opposite. I started slowly eating fish. And then slowly in my 20s, I had poultry. And then 2 years ago, I had my first cow. And so...
Oh, poor cow.
Her name was Bessie.
And so it's funny. You and I are opposite. Like, just like I slowly started eating meat, but I still eat a mainly vegetarian diet.
So your parents raised you vegetarian?
No, I came from a very McDonald's meat and potatoes family that ate like shit, and I just was this way since birth. My mom said I was just a born vegetarian, and so I just never ate meat.
Cool. That's cool.
See, and I went vegan when I was 17. So that was 21 years ago. But I was only vegan, 7 years, 6 years? And I stopped being vegan.
He was vegan when it was cool.
When it was cool. Back in I used to be straight edge vegan, vegan straight edge.
Ooh, even cooler.
Yeah, even cooler. And then I stopped being vegan. I actually ate the worst diet in the world. I went completely off.
Well, you went straight to eating Big Macs, which is awful.
Yeah, that's how I stopped being vegan. Was a double cheeseburger. I don't know why we're talking about this on a Zest podcast
I know, right?
recording.
But it's just interesting that you're on the show with a former vegan and vegetarian.
And so the idea behind Zest. I mean, it's gluten-free for starters. Has it always been gluten-free?
All right. Well, let's get back to me cooking at home.
Okay. Yeah, you cook.
Yeah, let's get him into that transition.
I was like, okay, there's not a lot of healthy options.
Sure.
So if I want healthy food, I'm going to have to make it at home or get it from the Whole Foods salad bar. And that gets boring. You can only have so much organic kale.
Well, not only that, it's expensive. Because I do that salad bar a lot, and it's really expensive.
Right. So I would do that, and then, started exploring the vegetarian restaurants. I was always a fan of Sage's, but never, wasn't like a super fan, but, I started going there more and more, obviously. Love Omar's, Rawtopia. Turned on to Omar's years ago, just wanting to be healthy and eat organic and raw.
Sure.
And so all of that stuff just came with experience and knowledge and age. You want to eat healthier. You want to eat organic as much as possible. You want to, save the planet in every little way that you can within your reach. So where were we at?
You're transitioning. You're realizing kale's getting boring at Whole Foods.
Yeah, so just making a lot of food at home and then looking into classes, like finding vegan cooking classes, vegetarian cooking classes,
took those too.
Raw cooking classes, or raw not cooking classes, and that's when my interest started to peak. I was like, oh, there's other people out there that want to eat healthy and not just have the regular vegan meal, which includes tofu and fake meat. And, it's substitutes. And
it is substitutes. And it's not that healthy at the end of the day, like having that much soy. And that's one of the things I love about you. Yeah. And that's one of the things I love about your restaurant. But we'll get to that in a minute.
And I think, if you're not eating meat, like why substitute it? And not to say that I don't eat that once in a while, but if I have the choice to have tofu or not, I won't eat tofu. I'd rather have extra vegetables in my Thai food than eat tofu. I'd rather have, once again, extra vegetables or mushrooms instead of seitan, which is the fake meat. And so all of those things, I was like, oh, there's like-minded people that want to eat healthy. And then you start watching a few documentaries and you're like, oh, okay, so...
Like, do you have a few documentaries that stick to mind?
Food Inc. was the one that did it for me.
Food Inc., yeah.
I couldn't even finish it. Food Inc., I watched it and I turned it off like 3/4 the way through and I was like, I can't even handle this.
Did you ever watch...
That's when I went to my freezer and I pulled out frozen chicken and frozen Tyson chicken from Costco and I threw it in the garbage and I was like, never going to deal with this again.
Did you ever read Fast Food Nation?
No, I haven't read that one.
I read that before Food Inc. came out. It came out a few years prior to that. And did you ever read The Jungle from the 1920s, The Butcher?
No.
Okay, so I've been obsessed with this since I was a kid, but all of this stuff has shaped who I am. So this is why I eat here, but keep going.
Cool. So, that was it. Like, we can't just eat whatever we want and then not pay the price for it,
It'll catch up with you or you're in the environment.
With everyone, both. Yeah. It's, it's affecting animals, it's affecting the environment, and it's affecting us personally. So I think being a conscious eater is not just about health. It's not just about compassion for animals. It's about all of that and the environment included as well.
Okay, so the transition between W Lounge and Zest. Let's kind of.
Well,
how quickly did W Lounge kind of come to an end and Zest opened up?
Speaking of W, we should probably order a round of drinks.
Yeah, let's order.
Yes.
Let's actually talk about what I'm drinking. A kombucha. What is this that I'm drinking?
You're drinking a kombucha cocktail with organic vodka and house-made jalapeno tincture.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
The whiskey sours here are my favorite. I'm addicted also to your spring flings because it's a fresh green juice and gin, which is my other favorite. But the whiskey sours here are so sour and so delicious. And I go other places and order them, and I'm like, God damn it, these are not as good as Zests. And
Thank you for that.
You've ruined me forever
Actually,
on whiskey sours.
Chris, that's a reason why I wanted Kat to come, is because she's such a fan of Zest, and she hasn't been coming here that much longer than before she brought you. But
it was March. A guy brought me here on a first date.
She is a huge spokesperson for us, and she's an advocate for Zest food, healthy eating, gluten-free food.
Yeah.
You know, it's everything in moderation.
Sure.
Kind of is what we do, and that's definitely how Kat is. You know.
Yeah. No, when I officially came here, I just fell in love, and this is literally my favorite place in the city on so many levels.
Thank you.
So
Kat, you first time you came here was March.
It was in March, yeah.
So it hasn't even been a year ago. But
No, it
you've been gluten.
I've been gluten free for 3 years in November.
And you never ventured to Zest?
You know what? It's so silly because I knew they existed. They were at the farmer's market. I kept meaning to get down here. My schedule is just insane.
Well, I know, yeah.
And so I kept meaning to get down here, and it was somebody that was dating me decided that he knew I was gluten-free, and he's like, we're going to Zest, because he knew this was a gluten-free place. And I just fell in love with this place.
So, okay, let's actually talk about this from an outsider, somebody besides you, Casey. I'm curious. So the first time you ate here, you're gluten-free, obviously, so you already have kind of a palate for this type of eating.
Right.
You're familiar. But what was your initial thought?
Well, here's the thing though, I also have a background in being vegetarian, and so I love vegetables.
Let's stop we're going to order some drinks here.
Let's order some drinks.
We're going to have a kombucha cocktail for Kat.
I want a kombucha cocktail.
Let's order something different. Well, I don't know what, besides this, because I've had the kombucha.
I'll take a green juice mimosa, please.
I'll try one of those too. Is that good? That's pretty good, I would imagine, right, Casey?
With extra honey and crackers.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Get those.
Okay, whatever. Anyway.
I have to get some food in me, otherwise this is all going straight to my head.
Let's get some food.
Yeah, let's order some food here now.
My favorite's the Brussels sprouts. I'm sure
God
you guys
damn, the Brussels sprouts with that Thai peanut sauce. My best friend is addicted to your Brussels sprouts, by the way.
Let's try.
Yeah, let's do some Brussels sprouts and anything else that you guys
I ordered
wanna
a
try?
vegan cheese platter because it's my favorite. I don't know if we're still recording, but here's the deal.
We're recording
If those vegan cheeses existed when I was vegetarian, I would have gone vegan because I'm a huge fan of cheese. I'm a cheese snob. Like
Right.
I'm the ultimate cheese snob. But these cheeses here at Zest, they don't have soy in them. They're cashew and almond based. And so with my thyroid issues, I can't do a lot of soy. And the cheeses here, they remind me of a chevre, but they have so much flavor and they're so delicious. And I love your vegan cheese platter. And I think people get confused thinking I'm vegan because of how much I love your vegan cheese platter.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you so much. Let's get a pizza too. Let's get a 12-inch pizza.
Okay, yeah, excellent. And I want to obviously talk about the food when it gets here too. I mean, we'll be eating it, and so yeah, we just got an order in. Kat, I want you to finish your story a little bit here, though.
Which story?
Where were we at? You were talking about
I just came
the
here.
first time eating here.
But here's the deal. Like, I'm one of the healthiest fat girls you'll ever meet. So even though I'm curvy, like, let's just be honest, I'm a size 14.
Curvy, yes.
I don't do fast food. I've never done fast food. My kids eat a mainly organic diet. I'm kind of one of those freaky moms. And,
Your kids love our food too, by the way.
my kids, I ordered your grilled cheese for my son, and now he makes me make it at home for him. And God damn it, it's the most expensive grilled cheese I've ever made him because he requires that I buy the same or locally made cheese. And when he goes out to eat now, he asks the waiter or waitress, he'll say, "What sort of cheeses do you serve here? Are they locally made?" And I'm not kidding. I've had to start carrying pesto on me. Because usually when we go to like little diners or whatever, they don't have pesto grilled cheese sandwiches like
Of
you do
course.
here. And so I have to add pesto to his grilled cheese sandwiches now because of what
That's
you served.
awesome.
But let's not get confused. They don't allow children here. I order the grilled cheeses to go. And so let's not get confused. My children don't come in here and eat. I get his grilled cheese to go and serve it to my son, but my son is obsessed with the food here. Yeah, so I don't have a palate for fast food. I have a palate for really like healthy, real food.
So do you remember what you ordered the first time you were here by chance? That's
it was
back,
the
I know.
Thai sunrise. Cause I'm also addicted to curry, and it was the Thai sunrise with the forbidden rice. Oh God, it's so good.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But honestly, I'm addicted to I've had everything on their menu now. But I'm addicted to the grilled cheese sandwiches here.
Oh my God, that's my favorite.
And I always get it with the soup of the day because they mix it up and they always have different soups. I think my favorite soup you guys have ever had is the Moroccan lentil.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That soup, my friend also was with me the night we ordered it, and she's obsessed with your Moroccan lentils. So, but I got a thing for lentils. But yeah, I ordered the Thai sunrise and I fell in love with this place. I mean, it's right up my alley. It's all fresh cooking. Even their desserts are really they use a lot of raw ingredients and they don't use a lot of sugar and yeah.
Gluten-free, Casey, because I'm curious about this. Because when you opened this up, I mean, gluten-free is kind of trendy right now.
But why gluten-free? Are you gluten-free?
So no, I don't need to eat gluten-free. With me, gluten-free just kind of came with eating healthy. It's like, I don't eat a lot of sandwiches.
Yeah, that's how I always was.
Years ago, I thought, Subway, a vegetarian Subway sandwich is healthy. And then I realized, that's a lot of things that my body can't process. I would, I would say more, gluten sensitive, not,
But everything here is gluten-free,
It's
right?
100%.
whole menu is gluten-free.
Sure.
And I was so confused when I first sat down. I had to because I ask a lot of those annoying questions when I go to a restaurant.
That's our favorite thing. Are you, is the carrot cake gluten-free?
So many questions. I was like, wait, and this, and this? And they kept saying, I swear to you, this whole place is gluten-free. And, I've been here when other people have been sitting down ordering and I hear them asking the same things because when you are so sick from gluten, you do get worried about these things. And it is a concern, but this place is 100% gluten-free.
Have you ever got sick from eating here?
Not once.
Yay.
Not even a little bit. And so I love that I can come and sit down and order whatever I want on this menu and it doesn't matter.
Cool. Well,
we just got some drinks here really quickly. Say what these are,
Did you get
Casey.
the spring
just
fling?
this green. No, this is a green juice mimosa.
Green juice
nice.
mimosa. I'm going to take
Did you guys
another
have these at brunch one day?
quick.
No, I've had the grapefruit mimosa, which I love so
Didn't
much.
you have the beet juice mimosa?
I've also
too?
had the beet juice.
Yeah.
I've also had the orange juice. Let's not talk about my drinking problem. I've had them all, but not this one.
You've tried all of our drinks, yeah. And that's not a drinking problem. That's just
They have
trying everything on the
I
menu.
do love that you guys have the fresh juice, though. That's what makes me so happy. Every time people want to do an interview with me, whether it be the Tribune or a blog or, Bill Allred, I always choose this place because you guys have my favorite drinks. So,
Well, and that's the thing, too. When you start to get older, I don't know, I got more picky. I wanted to drink organic wine, and I wanted to drink I drank kombucha all the time, and I was like, well, let's start mixing kombucha with vodka and see
And
how
what was
that works.
people's reactions for that? Just because, I mean,
You know,
especially
I
in a
tested
state like Utah,
I
right?
tested a lot of things at home in my kitchen, so I'd invite my friends over.
Sure.
That's another reason why, I do what I do. I always liked entertaining. I liked having friends over. I liked throwing parties. I liked making food for people. So for me, that's just kind of the natural progression is you start doing it for people other than your friends, and you expand it if you can, or, you do catering, or you cook for your friends and deliver it to them. I did a lot of that, while I was at W, doing not a lot during the day except for going to the gym and going to lunch, going to yoga. So, but that's the reason, why we have different cocktails than everybody else is, if we're going to drink, we might as well get some nutrients with it too, and not drink a rum and Coke and not drink a whiskey soda or whiskey, sour with sweet and sour mix off the gun. We like to make everything with fresh pressed juices, and we do that in-house daily with our Norwalk juicer. And so really, you're getting nutrients with your alcohol too.
Which is why it's my favorite, and I can totally justify drinking here at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much, Casey. You want to run down your menu or your drinks? I mean, I want to kind of talk about the items you have here.
Sure.
Or do you have too big of a list to talk about each one?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to talk about each one, but maybe our favorites.
Yeah, let's talk about favorites or
touched on the Brussels sprouts already.
Yeah, or you touched on the Brussels sprouts. My curiosity is, how does an item make the menu? Like, how do you get to that decision?
Right, because I want that Moroccan lentil soup on the menu so bad.
I took notes. I'm going to make that.
Also, your pumpkin tres leche is, aside from your hazelnut torte, is like the best thing that's been in my mouth here. And so it tastes like Christmas in my mouth. I don't want it to just be, it should be like a winter special.
Wait, have you tried the ginger spice cocktail?
No.
What's in the ginger spice cocktail?
No.
Ginger spice cocktail is
I love ginger though.
Fresh pressed apple juice and Maker's Mark. What else? A house-made ginger beer.
I need this in my mouth.
Yeah. It's a good, that's like, and then cinnamon. That's like Christmas for sure.
That sounds so, yeah, but your pumpkin tres leche, which I had 2 days in a row, I will admit, this last week, it's like Christmas in my mouth. It's so good. So, and I don't even like cake. I hate cake. But for some reason, when I'm here, I like your cakes.
The cakes are, it's like you said, it's hard to find gluten-free. So,
right.
Excuse me. So yeah, taking it back to why do we do things gluten-free? Eating healthy and not eating, cutting out bread, cutting out, carbs, cutting out, unnecessary calories. That's kind of where I started to pay attention to food. And I'm like, if I'm going to eat something, I'd rather have it be, actual real food. Like,
right.
I'd rather have more salad and more lettuce and more, peas and carrots and celery, onions, whatever, rather than just eat a piece of bread with empty calories. So
right.
That's kind of where the gluten-free thing came. But as when we first opened, people were like, oh, it's a raw restaurant. Oh, it's vegan. It's weird. And sure, we had some raw things. We had a raw cheesecake dessert that was always on the menu. We had a few more, maybe 1 or 2 more salads is all. Not really. They probably weren't even salads. It was just like a raw zucchini noodle pasta dish. But as you have customers come in and say, hey, it'd be really great if you guys serve bread. And I'm like, well, that's not really what we do. But also, if you're a new business, you listen to your customer and you say, and you take that into consideration. You say, well, okay, I've had 5 people ask for sandwiches this week. Maybe we should start looking into that. And that's how our menu's kind of progressively grown over the last 3 years, is we just listen to a lot of feedback. And whether it be Yelp or face-to-face or friends saying, hey, I really wish you guys had this. And you can't always accommodate to everything, but you do what's in demand.
Yeah. The breads and pitas that you use here are so delicious, and the cakes, same thing. I've also brought a lot of meat eaters here, and not one person has left here disappointed, because the food you have is so flavorful and so amazing that I don't think it leaves anybody I've brought here wanting. So I like that. I'm not worried about bringing meat eaters here.
Yeah, it's not, the typical vegan place.
It's not, which I love. Because honestly,
that people are used to in Salt Lake.
I'm not a huge fan of typical vegan places. I'll say that right now. Like, I'm not.
Well, because they typically just use all the same fake meats.
I don't like fake meats.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of tofu. I don't like a lot of soy. And I love that I can come here. I feel like you guys created a restaurant for my palate, honestly.
Well, we're definitely we have a niche all of our own. It's not, we don't really fit 100% into the vegan crowd. We don't fit into,
which I like.
We have kind of carved a little niche in of our own in Salt Lake. And
I like it when people dance to the beat to their own drum, or whatever, however that saying
and
goes.
It's not the easiest road to follow. Like, people, we definitely get the feedback, oh, you should have meat on the menu. And it's like, well, okay, you can get meat at every restaurant around us.
Right.
Come here when you want a healthier, lighter meal that's still satiating too.
Right.
What do you know now that you wished you would have known when you started Zest?
Oh, geez.
One or two things. One notebook.
Yeah, I would be a good consultant for someone wanting to open their own restaurant. Geez.
Or we can even come back to that question, I guess.
Yeah, I have so many answers for that one. So let me.
Because I'm sure you've learned things that you wished. Gosh, man, I wish I would have known that. Okay, well, what advice would you give somebody who wanted to open up a restaurant?
Don't do it.
Downtown. Would you do it again? Would you do this again?
Yeah, absolutely. I would take all the things that I learned from this specific location, this specific, I wouldn't change my business plan. I wouldn't change my model at all. I wouldn't change, things that I would change are, fixed costs, like, your rent, things that, never change. Cause no matter how much you put that into your budget, something always arises where the non-fixed costs always are up. So I probably would have started smaller, I guess. Started smaller and then get another location if the need is there. But I'd say that's probably like, instead we've grown into this space and it's great to have this much space, but we don't need this much space all the time every week.
Not all the time, but there's been so many times when I've been here where it's packed.
Yeah,
where I go sit at the counter. I go because I eat here solo a lot, and so I'll go sit at the counter because it's so packed. And so, I mean,
it's not really solo when you eat here though, because you know everybody so well.
That's true. It feels like I'm coming into a family. They're like, "Here's your whiskey sour." Anyway. They do. I feel like it's family here.
You're really, like Norm when he goes into Cheers.
Everybody knows my name.
Cat. I've actually had servers and bartenders fight over who's like gonna wait on her tonight.
Oh, that's really cute.
Yeah. Even though they pull tips, they're like, I get to wait on Cat. I want to wait on Cat.
That's really cute. That's so sweet.
We just got, this is the Brussels sprouts.
Oh my gosh. The Thai peanut sauce that is on this is divine.
No peanuts, actually.
It's
almonds.
no peanuts, almonds. Oh my God. That makes it even better because I'm not supposed to eat peanuts. It's divine.
No peanuts on our menu.
I have brought my my best friend is a junk food eater. Like he'll eat Lucky Charms in bed, and he eats a lot of junk food. Like it's terrible, but he eats so much junk food, and he loves this place. And the Brussels sprouts here are his absolute favorite. And your coffee, he loves your coffee. But
you actually
Rob?
Of course we're talking about Rob.
You do have excellent coffee, by the way.
Yeah, the coffee here is so good.
I don't know what kind of coffee you use, or if you care to disclose
they have a
Not
coconut
our secret.
Well, I shouldn't, but they also offer stevia here, and not very many restaurants in town offer stevia, so I get really excited that you guys have stevia, because that's what I used to. I've started carrying stevia on me because most places don't have it, and I order a lot of coffee everywhere I go. So
I want to talk about, you were talking about space here and stuff, but you kind of have a dance club. You do a dance club here on the weekends, or what nights? Is there specific nights for that?
Okay, so yeah, every Friday and Saturday we have DJs and dancing, and that's kind of varied a little bit the last couple of years, where we're like, oh well, maybe we don't want to do the dance club anymore, maybe we don't have to, but people are wanting that and still coming for it, so we're like, well, we might as well make it a more fun experience on Friday and Saturday and offer the DJ, offer dancing. And, it's definitely something unique. Like I said, we created our own niche, but by having the dance club too. But, when you open a vegan, raw, gluten-free restaurant, you're not going to make money, every day off of the food. You've got to have other outlets. So, and that's why, that's why we do the dancing and the DJs. That's not the primary reason. The primary reason is because we wanted to keep W Lounge alive in some form. We knew that space. I knew that space was going to get demolished. I knew that I wasn't going to stay there very long. Also, at the same time, I had kind of outgrown the space where I was just like, yeah, I'm going to work every day. Being somewhere in the same place for 10 years, even though everybody else is there having a party, to me it was still work. And not all the time, but some nights I was just like, yeah, I'm at work again, great, and that was kind of the point where I was like, yeah, this isn't fun for me anymore. And I had started actually looking for a new space to move to so that I could have food of my own and have a kitchen. So basically the idea was kind of like, well, let's have another bar, let's open another bar, but have healthy food. No one is doing that. We won't even have a deep fryer. No one,
Which makes my heart happy that you don't have anything fried here.
And so again, I'm just like creating our own genre of restaurant and bar, and then heck, like, let's have, DJs on the weekends still and keep our dance thing going on. And that's what actually got us through the first year or two, is all of our clients from the W Lounge.
The W Lounge came over
all
here.
Of our friends, I shouldn't say clients because most of them are friends, now after being there for 10 years, like, it's weird that I didn't know some of y'all, but I probably saw you or danced with you.
No, I don't go to clubs or bars. I live in my own weird little world. So
I'm glad I know you now.
Yeah.
So can people order like what we're eating now? We'll talk about that here in just 1 second. But can people order the regular menu items at dance club nights?
So the regular menu goes until 11 on Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
Then after 11 o'clock, we kind of cut it down to chips and salsa, nachos, a cheese plate, the vegan cheese plate, a couple smaller things.
Let's talk about. Have we talked about what we're eating here yet? What's in front of us here?
God, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. I've been trying to get pictures. We got. What kind of pizza is this here, Casey? Let's talk about the pizza.
The pizza is today we've got a squash marinara base and portobello mushrooms, onions, red bell peppers.
The onions are grilled. I just want to add because they're sweet and delicious.
Chives and cashew cheese. And the cashew cheese is a dairy substitute that we make in house using probiotics and chives, garlic. And a lot of the garnish that you see is actually from a local greenhouse. So it's really, I'm one of those weird people that will eat the garnish off of a plate because I know the nutritional value. But if you guys ever see anything on our plates like this fresh basil from Frog Bench Farm, these Greek microgreens, eat that because they're so full of flavor, so nutritious. And they're made locally. That's one thing that I can get local all year is our herbs, our flowers. You see flowers in your drinks.
It's always so pretty. Yeah.
So, our presentation's always...
Oh, it's beautiful.
It better be spot on all the time.
So what do you use for is it like a rice-based crust or what?
So
you don't want to,
it's a brown rice and tapioca base with arrowroot starch. That's the gist of the pizza crust. That is the one thing that we source out is our crust. I wish I could say that we do that in house. Everything else is made in house, except for our pizza dough and our bread. Our desserts are made here. We have a fabulous baker.
Your desserts, by the way. I come here a lot of times just for dessert.
Yeah.
So
Trevor's killing it with our desserts.
Oh, yes. Seriously, the hazelnut chocolate torte, it's heaven in your mouth. And same with the carrot cake.
You want to talk about the Brussels? I want Casey here. Kat and myself are just eating up a storm here, and poor Casey, I'm making him do all the talking, and he's not even able to get into his.
This is odd because she's the one doing all the talking.
I do like to talk.
Who wants to talk about the Brussels sprouts? I'm going to let Kat or Casey talk about them.
They're my favorite. The Brussels sprouts
I know they're your
spot
favorite.
on.
That's why
they have a slight spiciness, but like all of you, Gringa Utahns could totally handle the spice that's in it. It's not like too spicy or anything, but it just has a little slight undertone that is so delicious. And then it's almond based. This almond based paste that reminds me a little bit of Thai food. Honestly, like it has a little bit of a Thai feel. The Brussels sprouts. And they're perfectly sauteed, and they make me happy. Even if you hated Brussels, I have to imagine that someone that even hated Brussels sprouts would love this dish, honestly. But not me. I love Brussels sprouts. So.
Just gave you guys a piece of the Thai basil that we get from a local greenhouse, and it was picked yesterday. It's brought to us yesterday.
Thank you.
Picked on Monday, brought to us on Tuesday.
Do you get a lot of these locally? A lot of your ingredients locally, or no?
During the summer, it's easy for us, and then the fall and the winter, it's more like greens and herbs and
you're right close to Farmers Market, downtown Farmers Market.
Every Saturday we go over to Farmers Market, where I have friends that are over there that drop off stuff at the end of the market. They're like, "Hey, we didn't sell this. Can we sell this to you?" And I'm a sucker for that. I'll always buy what they don't have. So hopefully y'all are beating down my door next summer with ingredients.
I know this is a little off topic, but can we also talk about what you do with your compost? Because I love this about you guys.
I would love to hear that story.
So I take compost to my house, and then we have also got another farm that takes a lot of our compost, and they're just recycling it for soil for their crops to grow food for next year.
I think it's brilliant. I think more restaurants need to be taking after you.
So I'm going to burst your bubble about the Brussels sprouts. It's actually an Indian spice,
damn it.
not a Thai spice.
Thai and Indian are very closely my favorite foods. So
Yeah, and that's the thing about our menu is kind of global. It's not just one flavor.
it totally
it's
is.
not comfort food. It's not diner food. It's not just American
Wait, hold
food.
up. Comfort food to me, though, means something different to other people.
Okay,
so,
wait. Sorry. Let me say it. It's not American food. It's not.
There we go. Because American food does not
deep-fried.
comfort me.
We have a lot of different flavors.
Well, your tacos.
On our menu.
Your tacos. Oh
We
my
have
God, your tacos.
We have every seasoning that you can imagine. And I think, when you do a menu that's very narrow, you have to be broad with your ingredients and you have to be broad with your spices. You can't just serve someone a sandwich with sprouts and lettuce and hummus on it.
No, there's so much flavor here. It's crazy. So I do love that you have spices and flavors from all over the world because it makes my little heart happy. So
How often do you introduce a new item to the menu? Or is it just kind of when you
actually just came out with a new lunch menu today.
Okay. So when we're recording this, we have a new lunch menu. I mean, but is it seasonal or is it just
Every
kind of
season
when you
will
find
swap
something new,
things
you
up
put something
for
new?
sure. Right now, our pizzas were more based towards fresh tomato sauces in the summer,
you had more of a Greek feel before.
and then we had the Greek film
Yeah.
like early spring, like with
Mm-hmm.
eggplants and garlic, stuff that is a little
The
more
olives.
accessible. So, we like to switch the flavors up. You guys would kind of get bored if you came here all the time and ordered this. I mean, maybe you wouldn't.
No, but I
But
do
it helps
love.
to have things.
I love it because I'm here
change.
I'm here 2 to 3 times a week. I won't admit how much I spend at Zest every month. It's ridiculous.
But that's another. The
We
prices
appreciate
here are
that.
great, though.
My
I know.
staff
I can't believe your
appreciates
prices. I'm not going to lie. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I know
I
that's
really
kind of weird
can't
to maybe
believe your
talk
prices
about, but
because
I mean,
you think
it's
because so
not-
much of it is local and organic and good ingredients. I don't want you to raise your prices for the record, but I would expect to pay more.
Well, it definitely costs us more to buy local, but we're keeping money in the local economy. And, the thing is if we had $18 menu items and $20 menu items, then people wouldn't come. And they might come, but we wouldn't be as busy as we are. So, I've had to position myself that way too. I could alienate a whole clientele that thinks, why the hell am I paying $18 for a plate of veggies?
Right.
You understand the value of our food. You would pay
No,
more for
I
it.
do. And I pay more for
But-
everything in life because I like the value of things made locally.
As do I, but not everybody understands
Right.
that. So
But
as
there's
the local
nothing-
movement progresses and gets bigger, it's
Right.
just going to keep catching on and more people will get it and appreciate that.
Sorry. So in college, I took a communications class, and the meaning, you can take a meaning of something saying expensive, inexpensive, and it means 30 different things to 30 different people. I want to say the most expensive thing on your menu is what, $16, $15? 15. And so I just want to, because I'm used to eating, I'm a foodie. I go to really nice restaurants all the time. Because I like good food, and I'm used to paying $20 to $25 a plate for my meals. And so the fact that I can come here and the most expensive thing on your menu is $15 is amazing. So
Awesome. Thank you.
yeah.
So what else do you do? I mean, besides running a restaurant, Casey? What are some of your other hobbies and interests? What are things you enjoy, or do you just spend all your time?
Oh wait, I want to know this too
Yeah,
because I feel like you're always here.
yeah.
I am always here, but
But what do you
before-
enjoy? What do you enjoy before the life of
Like
before
I said,
Zest
I
came
was
around?
at home. I was cooking a lot. I would go to yoga. I was, yoga definitely helps you when you own a restaurant and we've got 25 employees, and that's a full-time job in
Sure.
itself. It's not just, menus and running a restaurant and schedules and ordering. It's actually a little bit of babysitting, honestly. And,
I've always thought I need to try yoga. I haven't tried yoga. I've heard it's a
definitely
great stress
keeps
reliever.
me calm. Like I definitely have that calm mentality from my father too. Like he's a very calm person, but I think 5 years ago I probably would have been drunk all the time. But since I found yoga, I'm like, all right, there's different things that can keep you,
Centered.
sane.
I just want to input here. I'm sure for your listeners here, if you ever do yoga, Chris, we all want photos. Okay, I'm a photographer. I'll totally come shoot it. So
What are you saying? I'm just awkward or what?
I'm not saying anything at all, but I'm
You're
just
just being
saying
weird.
I'm positive that your listeners want photos of you doing yoga. So
What's that downward dog?
Down dog? No,
The down-
no.
the downward dog. Yes, we want photos of this.
That's why I'd go at 6 a.m. when nobody would see me.
What are those shorts called? Biker shorts?
Yeah, you have to wear yoga
You have
pants.
to wear.
Dude, I'm down with
It's a rule.
I have
actually,
a yoga mat.
If you didn't know that.
I actually already have a yoga mat.
You're
This
one
is like
step closer.
well, I was given it as a gift, saying, "Chris, you're going to start yoga," and then so I got a yoga
Who gave
mat.
you a yoga mat? That's kind of an asshole move.
It was a girl I was dating at the time.
Oh, I take it all back. It's
Yeah.
not an asshole. It's
Well,
a super asshole move. You're going to start yoga. Here's a yoga mat.
Let's send them to Salt Lake Power Yoga.
No. I really was interested in doing yoga. I really was interested because I thought it would be great for meditation, centering stress. You know.
Absolutely. I definitely think it helps with stress. It helps like you slow down and think about things for an hour. You want to turn your brain off, but it can't. You just can't turn your brain off. And,
Sure.
And I'm sure some people are really good at that, but I can't. I'm always like, I wish I had a freaking notepad, or I wish I could turn on my phone and write down notes, because I'm always thinking of so many good ideas and so many things come to my head. And that's the fun thing about this is you can be creative in so many outlets. You know, we can be creative with our food and drink and our style. We can be creative with music and DJs and I'm always thinking of a fun new marketing angle or a fun new ad that we could do, or something, you know, that clicks and you're just like, wow, okay, cool. I think yoga really kind of gives you that chance to slow down with yourself, but at the same time, like, you know, it's over and you walk out the door and you might remember one or two of those things that flash through your mind, but it definitely helps keep you grounded, helps you center your thoughts and just slow down for an hour.
Sure. And that's important. I think a lot of people, we get stuck in our busy lives. What do you think of downtown Salt Lake City right now? I mean, you're right in the hub of it. I think you're right in the heart of it. Do you think it's going in a good direction or?
Absolutely. Yeah. Downtown is just getting better and better every year. And I think, you know, when we first opened, a lot of my friends said, you're like 5 years ahead of the time for Salt Lake. And I think it's definitely true in a way, but, you know, the more that we're around, people are more aware of us, and people are coming around a little bit with the way that they want to eat. And I think when we first opened, we kind of gave the impression that we were just a healthy restaurant. And now that we've been around 3 years, we're more established. We have a great staff, and people know that our food is good. It's not just healthy food, it's good food. And so it doesn't matter if you're vegan or you need to eat gluten-free. Like Kat said, you can bring a meat eater here and they're going to like the food. We've just come a long way since we've opened, and I think that Salt Lake's starting to appreciate us more, I think. And with all the people that are going to be moving here with the boom that's going to happen, or that's happening right now, our restaurant's just going to keep growing.
Yeah, honestly, Salt Lake City reminds me a lot of a mini Portland. And Salt Lake City has such an amazing underground scene, an amazing art scene, an amazing music scene. We have the symphony. We have the best food here. Like, I love the food in Salt Lake City. Yeah, downtown's amazing. And I'm glad you guys are here. And I'm glad you're not going anywhere. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
What would you like to see different, though, about Salt Lake? I mean, anything. I mean, the first thing I usually hear is liquor laws, but I was just wondering if Casey would.
I've had a liquor license for 13 years. I won't tell you how much that costs.
Is it a pain in the ass with
13 years.
liquor licenses in Salt Lake and
You already
Utah?
know the answer to that.
I know
Come
the
on
answer.
now. Really?
That's-
You've had enough people on your show. You know the answer.
I
to
know,
that.
but I want to hear Casey's answer.
If we needed to get a new license or another license, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't want to be in that line. But after having a liquor license for 13 years, you learn how to deal with it. You learn how to manage it. You learn how to juggle things.
It just becomes part of you. It is what it is. You don't complain. Kind of like you just buy your liquor before Sunday.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And you
No big
learn how
deal.
to balance it, and you learn how to do your special orders and hope that it gets here before you run out of something on your menu. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of things to change, but you learn how to work with it. And I think a big thing right now is the Zion curtain with all the booze being hidden from kids in a restaurant. And I know a lot of friends that would like to see that change.
Yeah, it's really stupid. I'm sorry, but it's really dumb.
Yet again, another reason we kept our bar license.
Yeah.
And we don't allow kids is because I didn't have to change anything. You can come in here and eat. You can watch a bartender make you a drink. You can walk around with your cocktail in your hand. You can't do that at a normal restaurant.
Right.
We have so many advantages to being 21 and up.
Plus, you don't have the
suck.
crying kids, you know what I mean?
Which I do love. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so as a mom of 2 young boys, I'm going to tell you 2 things. I love that you don't allow children here. Secondly, I also think children need to see healthy consumption of liquor, and that it's not just all crazy drunken alcoholics drinking liquor, that you can drink responsibly. So it does drive me crazy that these Zion curtain liquor laws, because I feel like it's healthy for children to see healthy things happening responsibly. So.
Oh yeah, I think so often we hide it. You know, it's like, okay,
Right, I don't believe in hiding anything.
Well,
So-
drinking isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, just look at our Facebook page.
Well, I mean, I grew up. In
Wait. Hey, there are some things I don't post on Facebook, Casey.
well, no, I mean, I think so often because I know I grew up thinking alcohol was bad,
Right.
thinking that only bad people drink.
Right, and I have an issue with that. Like when children are taught that those things, I have huge issue
Well,
with
and
that.
I still have a little bit of that in the back of my head. Every time I have a drink, I kind of look around. I'm like, I'm a badass for drinking, and it's not really. No, I mean,
You're not a badass for drinking, Chris. I
And
hate
then
to burst
there's
that bubble,
normal
but you're
people
not.
just looking at him like,
Yeah.
all right, good for you.
no,
Raise your
Chris, don't drink too much. You'll. Yeah. Anyway.
Keep talking.
No, keep talking. Yeah. Well. Anyway. Yeah. So.
I think that kids should see drinking in a healthy
I do too.
environment.
I
think kids
absolutely
should
do.
be able to watch a bartender make a drink.
Exactly.
Most kids aren't even that dialed in on what's going on. They're just like, oh,
No,
that guy's
yeah.
over there tossing things in the air. That's
Right.
cool. Or they're stirring something.
Don't even get me started about what adults put on kids.
Actually, you know,
'Cause
kids
it's usually
might
an adult
actually
issue,
be
not a kid
intrigued
issue.
by our drinks because they are pretty colorful and look
They're
pretty
pretty.
nice.
They're so pretty.
But yeah, I definitely think that hiding things from kids does not help.
No.
Like I grew up in a Mormon family, and we were it was never hid from us. But you know, like if mom or dad wanted to have a glass of wine or a beer, the neighbors couldn't know about it. You know, and our family grew up Catholic and Mormon, so it was kind of a collision of 2 different religions, which is it's fun. And it's good for kids, I think, to see 2 different perspectives or a lot of different perspectives, but not just be sheltered by we can't drink or,
Yeah.
what's mom hiding in that paint can under the
Right,
sink?
exactly.
Hi, mom.
No, I'm really big on teaching my kids like responsible drinking.
Has your family had an opportunity to come here and eat it very often, or
Oh, yeah.
have they at all?
So my father, who is a full-on cattle rancher, meat eater,
Sure.
loves our food, and
Love
his
it.
wife actually has celiac disease, so she needs
Really?
to eat gluten-free. And he's like, "Man, I wish that you lived closer." And it's cool. Like if we lived closer, we would have a little symbiotic business because he owns a car tune-up shop also. So
A what?
Like a car tune-up, like
car tune-up shop,
like where they
Sorry. I was
tune up
talking-
your car.
I
Okay,
started to
thank
talk
you.
Like cat
It's-
super quick.
It sounded like cartoon shop, and I was like, "Wait, what?"
Does
My coffee just kicked in, and
It's
I started
okay, it's okay.
talking 1 million miles
It's
per
okay.
minute.
I'm
like
from Orange
Kat
County.
does.
We talk 1,000,000 miles an hour there. So okay, so a car tune-up
car
shop.
tune-up shop.
Okay.
And so, which one of my friends do not need their car tuned up?
From an honest person, right?
How awesome would that be? Have a tune-up
Yeah.
shop next door. People can come in, get a gluten-free sandwich, and you get a car tuned up at the same
It would be awesome. So, but if you're ever in Price and you need your car tuned up, pop into Tunex and say
what
hi to Pops. And funny enough, he just sent someone up here. He's like, "Oh, it's too bad you guys aren't going to Salt Lake because my son owns a vegetarian restaurant." They're like, "Actually, we're going there tomorrow."
Sure.
And they came in here and had lunch and said hi, and then they took some carrot cake to him and his wife the next
Aw,
day.
that's
So
cute.
yeah, so it's too bad we don't live closer because we definitely support each other's lifestyle, our point of view on business, no matter what it is, even if it's opposing. And we definitely have opposing views.
Well,
on a
most
lot of
children
things.
and their parents do. I know I have plenty.
My mom takes me to get tattoos, so don't.
Do you see yourself expanding at all? I mean, be honest. I mean, or is that just I know one place is a lot, but do you ever see yourself maybe going to Utah County? Going to
hell no.
Ogden.
Utah County? Did you just say Utah County? Really?
Utah County, they like vegetarian food. They got some great vegetarian eaters
Right,
down there.
right.
Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of people from Utah County that sneak up to Salt Lake to have cocktails because I know that's what I did when I was in college.
Right.
Well, all you have is ABGs down there. What is that, ABG?
It's, yeah.
Oh, there's a lot of places to get a drink in Provo now.
Is there?
There's
But-
plenty. No, there's plenty of places.
All right. Sorry, Provo listeners.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
some
I
good
think.
food in Provo too.
Hey, Provo. I think if we expanded, it would be
Another place in the valley,
Or would you go out of state
a
even?
smaller scale. We wouldn't
like
do
Sugar
the-
House.
dancing in the nightclub. That's too much to manage all in one, one location's enough. So really what I want to do right now is just take this one location and knock it out of the park. I've thought about doing a little small business here and there with the same concept of healthy food, like a grab and go or something. But really what I want to do is just make sure this place is on the radar, really nurture and baby, take care of this place. And then we'll think about that in a couple of years because, I don't want to live in Salt Lake forever.
Why not?
Especially this nasty inversion.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're upon inversion season.
It's starting already?
Can people order food, like on lunch to go, I guess? Well, that's kind of a silly question.
Well, yeah, I get food to go all the time here.
What about like a cake? Can you order a whole cake or anything like that?
You can do a whole cake.
12 whole cakes.
You're making my fucking birthday present, like my birthday cake. You are making my birthday cake this year.
Okay. Done.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
Well, that was kind of my curious question. Catering, stuff like that.
Catering. We do catering orders. I delivered food to West Valley today. So, I mean, we'll do whatever we need to do, whatever people ask. Like I said, we listen to our consumer. And
so you'll deliver me lunch?
I will not.
They're not a delivery
you.
service, Chris. Goddamn it!
Chris,
Even though you live across the street, but
what if I'm at work though? Say if I'm at work,
they're not a delivery service.
I delivered a pretty large takeout order up to the U last week and over to West Valley.
So if you want to spend a couple grand, he'll deliver it to you, but not a sandwich. How about that?
Couple grand, damn. Her prices are high.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I delivered a couple $100 order
okay,
today.
sorry. My time is precious, Casey.
You need to keep Kat around. But
so we listen to the consumer, and we try not to do that. But if someone's like, "Hey, can you deliver?" Yeah, we'll deliver for $20. We'll toss in a delivery fee or whatever. So
you guys are really nice.
We're just, we're a local company. We employ, like I said, 23 local people. Our money goes back into local farms. Goes back into the local DABC, and
God bless the DABC.
Our people have families. Some of them have kids, and some of them, have partners they support, and so that's important to us to keep that money local. And we spend our money local whenever we can. We support local coffee shops, and we don't support Starbucks, and
which makes me so happy.
If our employees do, we give them a hard time about it.
They have really good coffee here.
Eventually they cave and start going to somewhere that's local.
I typically ask this. I ask this every person who comes on. Favorite local eating spots? Obviously, we're at a local eating spot. Is there anywhere in particular? You mentioned Omar's at the beginning.
Yeah, so I love Omar's. Omar's is places, like a nice, healthy place. Like, if I want a nice, clean, organic, healthy meal, for sure. I do like Eva's. They've got some great small plates.
Do they have gluten-free stuff there?
Casey is not gluten-free.
Oh, that's right. Casey's not gluten-free.
I don't know if I need to remind you of that.
Well,
yeah,
you don't,
but
I don't know.
I definitely can get sick off of eating too much gluten. So that's the point when I realized I was like, oh, this is, and I don't have this sensitivity all the time. So I thought this could be a potential problem for anyone.
Yeah.
I ordered a vegan orange chicken 6 years ago at a restaurant that's no longer around, and I was so sick. And it didn't dawn on me till a couple more times, and I was like, every time I eat here, I get sick, and it's just because that fake chicken was made with gluten. And it wasn't, I didn't get the extreme sickness that Kat probably would.
Yeah, I get pretty sick.
Where she's, crumbled in two. I just...
Well, it attacks my thyroid. Not only can I not digest it, my whole body starts to shut down.
So I was sensitive to that, and I listened to my body, and then one of my friends was like, "Hey, I could help make all of your menus gluten free. I could help you make your desserts gluten free," and that's kind of how it spun off. And we're like, "Well, let's just do the whole menu gluten free. If we're gonna have like 70% of it gluten free or 90%, let's just do the whole thing." And so we found a gluten-free pasta that we had on the menu when we first opened, and that kind of turned people on, oh, okay, gluten-free can actually be good. But now
it's come a long way, the gluten-free living, because I've known for 13 years, and so it's come a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, 13 years ago, it was pretty awful.
The hard thing with us in gluten-free is you go to the expos and you go to different shows, and people want something in a package, or they want a cupcake, or they want a cake, and they're like, oh, it's gluten-free, but it's not healthy. That's
the thing that people don't understand. Just because it's vegetarian, just because it's vegan, just because it's gluten-free does not mean it's healthy. That doesn't mean anything. In fact, oftentimes you get more chemicals, you get more items that you don't want in your body. And so just because it's labeled that does not mean it's good. There's so much junk food out there that is labeled with those.
Well, you could say the same thing about vegetarian or veganism.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Vegan.
Of reading the label.
You have to read the
people.
fucking label. And so just because like there's so much food out there I will not eat that you will buy, you can buy in a health food store. You can, the Whole Foods sells it. And let's not talk about how Whole Foods got into bed with Monsanto. Let's not get into that right now. But
if you can't pronounce something on the label,
Yeah.
if you don't know what something is,
there's a problem.
Look it up. And
Right.
if it's processed, that's
Right.
that's when we
And there's
start to
plenty of
to
quote
wonder.
unquote health food that is processed that I will not eat. So yeah, I'm
so
one of those
we're very
people.
picky about that, you know.
Sure.
And I've had a lot of chefs come along the way and say, "Hey, what about this and what about this?" And I'm like, "That doesn't really fit into our values." Like, you know, we got to kind of stick to that core of health. And you know, gluten-free naturally falls in, like the no meat. So health and vegetarian, those are our two standards that we'll never waver on. And of course, organic. Like, you know, we try and get as much organic as possible. Sometimes you just can't, and we understand. But you know, most of our greens, all of our greens, all of our berries, all of our fruit, tomatoes, stuff like that. You
And
know,
that's,
we try and
that's
get
smart.
organic as much as possible.
Because those are on the 12 no
It's
lists, as
hard
far
to get
as
organic
pesticides,
avocados all year, so
It
we'll
is.
waver on some things like that, like avocados and walnuts, or you know, whatever. But
But
we
berries
try
are
and
on
do
that
as
list.
much organic as we can.
as possible.
which I love. I love that about you guys.
Why we wrap this up here is any words of advice or a motto or anything you want to leave with the listeners that kind of helps you get through your life or get you through your day. You seem like that type of person who might have a good motto that you live by.
Just because I go to yoga.
He's
Yeah.
saying you're like Gandhi because you do yoga and eat vegetarian.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
So give us some enlightenment, Casey
You know,
Staker.
I already touched on this. I think everything in moderation. I think just pick your battles. You know, if you're going to indulge smartly. You know,
Well, absolutely. Everything in moderation.
same with food. We can overeat on all this yummy vegan food.
Right.
You know, just I think pick your battles and find a couple things that you're passionate about and stick with them, and don't waver from those. If it really like sinks to your core, like stick to that, and that's going to make you a happy person. It's going to make you successful in whatever you do.
I think going along with that, you have to not give a fuck about what other people think.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Absolutely.
Because people are going to give you shit about your eating habits, and who gives a fuck?
And
like-
people always have the best advice and the best input
Right.
for
And that works
what
for
you
them.
should do.
That works for them, but
your life.
right.
Like,
But not
and
you.
Just do what's best for you. Do what suits
Exactly.
you. And
Exactly.
obviously, people are going to be attracted to that. You know, because
The right people will find
you're
you.
not the only person that's thinking so off course. You know, there's a lot of other people that think the way that I think, and obviously because we've successfully ran a restaurant for 3 years, and it just keeps progressing.
Sure.
So every month gets busier and busier, and people are calling us every weekend wanting to come dancing, and we're like, just when I thought I could give up the nightlife part and the dancing, like people are like calling asking for it. So I'm like, oh, all right, here we go.
Wait, I have a
Do what
question.
people want us to do.
This is a very important question because I've come here almost so many times on a Sunday. We have, two things.
Oh, Lord.
We didn't talk about your Friday and Saturday brunch, which I was here for months before I learned about it. Their brunch is amazing. They have a quinoa scramble with avocados and cashew sour cream that goes on top. That is so good.
Chickpea pancakes.
It's and
Is that what you're talking about?
No. Your quinoa scramble. It's the black bean and Southwest dish.
Oh, the Southwest skillet.
The
Yeah,
Southwest
yeah.
skillet,
With
with
quinoa
quinoa
and
and black
yeah,
beans.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So we haven't talked about your brunch, but more importantly, will you ever be open on Sunday?
I told you.
I wasn't even going to go there, Casey.
Were we not supposed to talk about this?
We talked about this a long time ago, and I said if Chris manages the restaurant on Sundays,
Chris, come
we
and
will
manage the
open.
restaurant on fucking Sunday so I can get my goddamn quinoa scramble.
You might have to cook too, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I know. No, all my favorite restaurants
There
are
was
closed on
a
Sunday.
recent
Up for it.
Facebook post of mine about
I
that.
read it.
And then,
How you'll
and
go
then
out of your way to support.
And then I think who was it? Somebody said something, and then about me, you were like, I can't remember the exact wording, but you brought it up again on there, and I was like, "Oh, poor Casey keeps getting hounded with."
No,
this
I
open on
know,
Sunday
but
thing."
all my favorite restaurants are closed on Sunday. They all are. Ten
That's the
Angel,
thing.
Frida's, you guys, like they're all closed on the Naked Fish. They're all closed on Sunday.
That's the thing, though. You talk and we listen. That's the cool thing about having a local spot. And I actually posted this today. It's like, with a local spot, you're going to get somewhere. You're going to actually talk to the employees who know the owner or know the manager, or, know the owners of the business.
Exactly.
And I listen. Like, our menu wouldn't be where it was today if I didn't listen to our consumers. So, yeah, maybe it's
I know you need a day off, but maybe take Monday off.
Right. I like that.
Take Monday
Trust
off.
me.
I just want to come eat here on Sundays.
Yeah, I think, I've been making a list of all these people that promise they'll come eat here on Sundays.
God damn it. I will eat here every fucking Sunday if you're open on Sundays.
If we open on Sundays, I better see you guys.
No, I really would.
absolutely
I really
yeah,
would.
that's the
I've come
thing
here
is
4 times and I forget.
we listen. That's
I
the
forget.
cool thing about local. We're not the fucking corporate Olive Garden that,
Yeah.
that I was a slave to for 5 years.
Yeah.
I can actually do something about it. I don't have 10 people higher up above me that I've got to communicate that to. So really what it's about is finding a solid staff. When you've got such a small place,
I
a
know.
small local business, having extra employees here is a juggling act, and you can't always keep them entertained all the time. But, some people don't want to work on Sundays, or
Yeah.
they want 2 days
Well,
off.
people
and
need
that's
family
fine.
time. You guys need time to recharge. I get all of
Sunday's
that.
my recharge day,
I
but
get
trust
it.
me.
I get
It would be
okay.
nice though to come
I'm
down
just
here
incredibly
and get some of
selfish,
those
and I just want good
pancakes.
food on Sunday.
January 11th will be open that Sunday.
For real.
But for the record, Sunday is January 10th because it's my birthday. I just want to say,
God, that's your birthday? Well, happy
January
birthday.
10th is
Kat's
my
finally
birthday.
getting her wish.
Wait.
oh my God. Wait, are you
so-
really? I might be gone for my birthday, but are you really going to be open on my birthday? God damn it, really?
So we talked about this a few weeks or a month or so ago. Do you remember that? You were here having an interview. You were present. Do you remember being present?
I don't remember, and I was probably drinking a lot of whiskey.
No, you were having an interview with someone, but we had talked about the
Oh.
Sunday thing, and we're actually going to be open that Sunday for outdoor retailers.
January 10th you are?
January 10th. And then
I'm
we'll-
here.
And then we'll probably kind of
Don't rub it in, Chris.
slowly progress, and say, hey, let's do a Mother's Day brunch.
I would still come here on Mother's Day.
And kind of start off and get a feel for what people are
You give me
into.
word because I will promote the hell out of you guys being open on Sunday. Because I just so few good places are open on Sunday in Salt Lake. So
Yeah.
few. And I'm
trust
picky about where I eat.
I want to be here on Sundays. I want to be open. It's just
But it needs to be worth it,
it's
and you need a
letting
down
go
day. Yeah.
and finding the staff to be here.
Sure. And
Because
people
when
want that day off. I
Someone
get it.
calls in sick, when someone
Yeah.
doesn't show up, a lot of it falls on me as the owner, and I take a lot on already, and so that's kind of why it's nice to be closed for one day. But I also take cues from other restaurants. Like I told you, Eva's is a favorite. Niche is a favorite of mine too. Before they changed their menu, but I still like it.
I love Niche.
And so Niche used to close on Sunday night and Monday lunch.
Yeah.
And so I kind of follow some of those cues. Like Eva's open for lunch for a little while, then they closed. And I'm like, well,
Yeah.
all right, let's try it, but we'll take a different approach.
Right.
And I don't know what their marketing strategy was or what any strategy at all behind it was. Is I think consistency. If we're open long enough, if you stay open
Right.
more days, you're going to just get busier with time.
Sure.
And
Right.
so trust me, I want to be open on Sundays. It's going to happen. I don't know that it's going to be every Sunday after that in January.
Sure.
But January, everybody wants to eat healthy too.
Yeah. Well,
And
they've got their New Year's kick that
So
they
we
last at least a
might-
month,
We
right?
might try. Yeah.
before they check it.
January is actually a great month for us because people are like,
I bet.
oh, let's eat healthy.
Let's eat healthy.
Yes.
You're
So-
like, come on in.
I swear to
Yeah.
God, people, it's good all year round.
Yeah.
It's good
No,
in
it really,
February.
it really is.
Yeah,
It
thank
really
you
is.
guys. That's awesome.
Let's get to sing. How can people? Let's the address again.
275 South, 200 West. We're
You're-
right behind PF Chang's,
Ew.
across the street from Red Rock.
Sorry. You
Hey,
get this much whiskey anyway. I'm going to get honest.
We talked about the corporations a little bit. I'm right there with you.
And you're on Facebook. People can connect with you.
Zest
See,
SLC, Instagram, same, and our website is Zest SLC also. Check out our website.
ZestSLC.com.
Yeah, check out our website. There's actually some great photos from Kat on there.
Oh, yes, there are.
Yeah,
they have pretty food.
And your
can sign
hours?
up
Did
for
you
our
say your
newsletter.
hours yet?
So we're open from Monday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. on weeknights, and then Friday and Saturday till 1 o'clock for drinks and food, and then 2 o'clock you can stay and dance from 1 to 2. So a little bit later on the weekends, but food cuts off, like a good cutoff time for food is 11 p.m.
Sure.
And then we'll still
Which
do
I love, because I love that I can
things.
come here late on those nights and get some good food. Because late at night, it's hard for me to eat, honestly, because I don't do fast food. I don't do chain restaurants. And so it's nice that I popped in here many times, like at 10 o'clock at night, and I was able to get some food.
I think that's a good place to end it. I mean, I've had a great time chatting with you, Casey. Thank you so much, Kat,
Thank
for
you.
Joining me
Yeah, thank you.
on this episode. And any other thing else you want to add or mention before we wrap this up?
I don't know. Kat tore up that vegan cheese plate, I think.
God damn
Yeah.
it, it's so good. They
No,
also have a local honey that's in there that is my favorite with that local cheese.
Thank you so much for the food and the
vegan
drinks.
cheese.
And,
Yeah, you
and
bet.
I mean, this is a great atmosphere. Come here, check it out.
Thank you guys for being loyal supporters of Zest. Like I said, like my staff appreciate you. I appreciate you. Like you
I
guys
love
are
it.
fantastic.
All right. Many thanks goes out to Casey Staker. Hopefully you all enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation. I had a really good time at Zest and chatting with him, finding out his story, enjoying some food, enjoying some drinks. It was a fun afternoon, getting to know him a little bit better. And many thanks goes out to Kat Palmer for co-hosting this episode. Speaking of Kat, if you have not had an opportunity to check out any of her art yet, I know it's over at Tin Angel on approximately 4th South and 4th West, right here in downtown Salt Lake City. So go check it out. All the show notes for this episode are going to be at iamsaltlake.com/201 for episode 201. All the links to connect with Zest are going to be there, so go check that out. So that's going to do it for this episode. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on this episode. You can find everything at iamsaltlake.com. You can connect with me at iamsaltlake@gmail.com. Also, call the voicemail. I don't talk about the voicemail too often, but you can find it 385-202-5926. You can also text me at that same number. And I'd love to know your thoughts on the podcast or just anything about Salt Lake City in general. And I'd love to connect with you. So I'm here every week. Make sure you subscribe. The podcast is absolutely free to subscribe. I got a brand new episode each and every week. So until then, hopefully you enjoy the week ahead and get out and enjoy the city. And we'll chat with you again next week. Bye now.